everybody. Hey guys. How is it going? I hope everyone is doing well, day or night, whenever you tune in and see this. So yes, we have finally gotten to Scorpio and Sagittarius, and I do apologize for the delay. Please forgive me. But we are here now, right? And it is all divine timing. So both of these readings that we're going to do here today for Scorpio and Sagittarius are from around January 1st through January 29th. But it is a timeless reading, so it can happen or start to happen a little bit before January, a little bit after January. And what is a little bit, it could be a couple months on either side, but really just take it how it may resonate for you, okay? The other thing is both of these are general readings, so it can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., etc. All right. And everyone is welcome too. So we all have Scorpio and Sagittarius somewhere in our individual birth charts. So everybody is welcome, whether you're sun sign, Sag or Scorpio, or you have your moon in Sag or Scorpio, or you have your rising sign in Sag or Scorpio, or in Venus, or in your Mars, or whatever it is, right? So everybody is welcome. And yeah, I have pulled all of your cards ahead of time here, dear Scorpio, because we're starting with you. So we will get into your reading in just a moment here. I just wanted to go over a couple of quick things. So when we do get into your reading, like I usually do, I always take a picture of all of the cards here on the table, and I upload that after the live is done. So some people, if you want to look at that photo while you're listening, if you're watching this live later, or just to look at the photo and see the cards more up close in detail so you can have the memory of it or look back at it later, whatever reason you may want to look at the photo, it's going to be there for you. Of course, you don't have to. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, after the live is done, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the little instructions there on how to get it on my Facebook page. So again, it will be after the live is done. And I'll post it in underneath the video in one of the comments. So you see a photo for Scorpio and then a photo for Sagittarius. All right. So yes, and moving right along, one more thing. Hey, nicely. Sorry, guys. One other thing I wanted to mention before we get into Scorpio reading is I am having a candle sale on my website. So I don't talk about my website enough, but I wanted to talk about it specifically in January because I am having the sale. So what I do on my website, and you can check all the info in the description box below, I have my website there. And I've been trying to leave comments after the live is done too on links to my website if you're interested. But basically I do a setting of light service for people. So I light the candle. I have either a prayer or your unique petition that's said over the candle. And this candle that I'm using just to show you guys is Hestia. So she's the Greek goddess of home and hearth and money, just to name a few things, right? But so she has a certain set of herbs for those things that I've placed in here. And so then after the candle is done, it can take anywhere between 2 to 5 to 7 to 10 days to burn, or even longer, right, for really rare ones. And so after that's done, these herbs and the oils inside are going to create a pattern at the bottom of the candle. And so I read that like a tea reading or coffee reading. So it is, something kind of different, and it's pretty cool. So, or at least I like to think so. So I have, I think like almost 30 different types of candles on there for this candle reading. And then I have other stuff too you might be interested in. But for the month of January, I am doing, instead of 33, I'm doing 25, okay? And I think there are pay options to pay later. I know there's the pay later option for PayPal, but I'm trying to figure out, and hopefully soon, how to add the other kind of different companies that are doing that too for some people. So yeah, Anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Scorpio reading. And again, thank you for your patience and everything. I do appreciate everyone's views and shares of the videos from last month and just in general. So anytime you like the video, it tells me you liked something in the video, but also it shares it more within YouTube's little algorithm procedures, how they do it is the more likes the video gets in the first 1 to 2, 3 days, I think, the more times it'll recommend it to other people. So that's why I always kind of can be annoying by saying it, but it really does help the channel grow. And since I'm doing these readings for free, I do appreciate it if you feel guided to do it, but you don't have to, of course. And then the other thing is if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, it's also a free, great way to support the channel. All you have to do is hit the little subscribe button. And as long as you have a basic YouTube Gmail, or not Gmail, but email, as long as you have a basic YouTube email account, it'll just notify you when I put out new videos, and you can always unsubscribe at any time if you feel guided. And then the third way, I think I already said, is to share the video by sending it to friends or family and say, hey, check out this video. So all those really great free ways to support the channel, and I really appreciate everyone doing that. And also commenting on the video also helps the views grow as well. So I forgot to say that before, but yeah. All right, so now with all that being said, let's do a quick little sound bell to help ground us and get into the Scorpio energy for the reading. So you can take a deep breath in and out, how you feel normally guided to do that, or you can just listen or whatever. All right, so it will be loud for a brief moment or two, but hopefully just bear with me. All right, so this is for Scorpio. All righty, Scorpio. Okay, I don't know why I always whisper after I do that, but just like, ooh, all right. Okay, Scorpio. Let's go ahead and get into your reading here. So we are going to be talking about a 4-week time period. It can be a little bit longer or before, after, right? Since time is fluid and relative and changes, and depending on when you're catching this video, of course. But for the purpose of the original time frame that we are in now, we're going to say we're talking about January 1st through the 29th. So each card at the top is going to correspond to a week's time or so. So we'll go ahead and call out the times and your cards now. And when we're on each one, I'll say it again because I know it's a lot to remember. But we're saying the first card can be from around January 1st through the 7th. The second card can be from around January 8th through the 14th. The third card can be from around January 15th through the 21st. And the fourth card can be from around January 22nd through the 28th. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we have here. We have the Five of Swords in the right side up position. We have Princess of Sacred Circles, also known as Princess of Pentacles in the right side up position. We have the Four of Sacred Circles or Four of Pentacles in the right side up position. And we have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. So we'll go over the other tarot cards when we get to that point, because usually Spirit wants me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of the two different decks in a certain place. In every reading, it is different. So I'll mention those when we get there. And then, of course, at the very end, we have your Oracle card as well. But But yeah, Scorpio, let's see what we have here for you as far as the other zodiac signs showing up in your reading, especially when we're talking about major arcanas. So you actually don't have any major arcanas in your reading. And again, that's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It can say that perhaps compared to maybe other zodiac signs for the month of January, maybe you're going through a little bit less changes than some, because usually the more major arcanas you have, the more changes can be present. But it's just one way to look at it. But let's see what we have, because you always have the other signs showing up. You usually have a couple of the elements or all of the elements in your reading. But let's look at the minor arcana and see what's the one that's the most prevalent to get another underlying message to your reading. So we've got 3 swords, so I'm pretty sure it's swords, but let me double check because it could also be, no, 3 swords, 2 pentacles, 1 wand or stave, and 2 cups. So it is swords, all right? So what does that mean? So swords are our crown chakra, our logical mind, and they talk about our mental health. So an underlining theme to this reading for some people can be asking you or of the other person, general environment situation, am I in a good mental health place, or do I need to seek some help in some way around that? Vice versa, the other person, etc. Okay, or am I too much up in my head? And well, that's still a mental health thing, but in my opinion, um, and not using enough of the other elements and other parts of what makes us human. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. All right, but let's go ahead to your reading. Get into the deep part of the reading or just the reading in general. So when we start off with your first card, and I said it could be from around January 1st through the 7th, and today is the 5th, right? When I'm filming this, is it the 5th? I think it's the 5th. Yes, it's the 5th. I'm like looking at all my screens like, okay, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so we have the 5 of Swords in the right side up position. And so we start off your reading here, Scorpio, with, you could say, a little bit of an energetic blockage, gentle reminder or challenge, okay? But it's never the end of the world, and it never has to last super long, right? Because this is just one card out of many in your reading here. But we start off with a little bit of defensive energy when we're talking about the 5 of Swords energy. As far as mental health stuff, when the swords are going down in the images, it can say that there's some anxiety, worry, overthinking, right? Or just mental confusion in some way, or the mental is out of balance with the mind, body, spirit connection, okay? But here we have, for some, not everybody, can be a little bit of competitive energy, can be this energy also of not focusing enough on the present moment, focusing either too much on the past or too much on the future, or both, or all of that, right? But yeah, it is just, again, a gentle reminder, challenge, or energetic blockage. Now, when we talk about this 5 of Swords energy here, Scorpio, it can be energy that is, because it's your first card in particular, coming in or trickling in from the past, okay, or the recent past. So it could be a couple days ago, weeks, months, years, etc., whatever the recent past means for you. And again, this can be about you or another person you're dealing with, multiple people, general environment situation. So take it how it's going to apply for you. But let's see what's under it, because this is where Spirit wants to get even more insight about maybe why this 5 of Swords is showing up here in your reading. Okay, so I like to call these 2 cards the sponsored cards that made it possible for this 5 of Swords to come out, right? So these are past energy. They're not necessarily recent past like this one could be. This is a combination, I believe, of a little bit of recent past and also future, current, present possibilities. But this is definitely past energy, whatever that means for you. All right, so what do we have? We have the Princess of Cups in the reverse position and the Four of Swords in the right side up position here. Okay, so it looks like in the past there was some type of um, emotionally dissatisfying energy going on with the Princess of Cups in the reverse position. It could be for some that some type of leveling up in one area of your life or multiple areas of your life in the past possibly didn't happen because somebody may have been a little closed-minded in some way or not open to learning something new or multiple new things in some way in the past. All right. But it could be that this was happening, of course, for a reason to identify the block, sorry, the challenge or the reminder, to kind of correct it, as they say, or work on it, right? Because we all have ups and downs. So then on the other side with that Four of Swords energy, it could be that also in the past there was not enough rest. Okay, so the Four of Swords card can talk about needing more rest. Okay, and again, when we're talking about swords, which was your main minor arcana in the reading, we're talking about defensiveness and mental health. So, am I overthinking something? Am I not thinking enough clearly about something or my life in general? Or am I just right, kind of balancing again with the mind, body, spirit connection? So when we show this Four of Swords in that past energy as well, it can be that something wanted to be put to rest. That's the other thing that shows up when we talk about Four of Swords together with the Princess of Cups in the reverse position. And then, of course, the Five of Swords. It's like if there's something that wasn't working, somebody or something could have decided in the past that they don't want to continue to work on that, okay? So when we put, again, all this together with the Five of Swords energy, it could be that the reason why there is more defensiveness, not focusing enough on the present moment, too worried about the past, too worried about the future, and competitive energies for some is because of this energy from the past where somebody wasn't getting enough rest or putting something to rest. And then also there could have been something that was not emotionally satisfying or fulfilling in some way. Okay, so let's keep going though. Like I said, this energy doesn't last for too long, right? And it kind of acts as a catalyst for your second week. If we pause it right here and I say your best weeks or parts of your reading here, Scorpio, I would say your second week and your fourth week really look like the best, okay? But we will go in order. But I want to show you the transition from your first week to your second week, okay? So that Five of Swords energy could have been a catalyst for then the Princess of Sacred Circles, also known as Princess of Pentacles, to show up here, okay? So you go from slow down, complete, stopped, halted progress to now possibly more momentum and progress moving forward, okay? So when we talk about swords cards, as far as the other zodiacs, I forgot to say that earlier. I got sidetracked because you didn't have any major arcanas. The swords cards energy represents air sign. Okay, so no official, Gemini card or Libra card or Aquarius card, but the energy is possible with the three swords cards being here. Now, when we talk about sacred circles or pentacles, we're talking about earth sign energies. They're not the official cards, but can be talking about Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, right? But here we see this woman, okay, young woman is pregnant. She's got one kid in her lap or her arm kind of on the side there, and then one in her belly, of course. So this is about planting seeds for the future, and it is about learning new things. She's a princess. She's not a queen. She's not necessarily set in her ways yet, okay? So this is really good for being open to those possibilities of learning and growing, as we all should be, regardless of our age or our status, blah, 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 right? Now, when we talk about pentacles and earth sign energy or sacred circles, we can be talking about money, finances, and wealth, but we can also, if it's not that, be talking about our value systems. So am I being valued enough? Is the other person, is the environment valuable to me or conducive to me. Those are kind of other things that may come up when we're talking about sacred circles or pentacles card energy. Okay. But this is really beautiful to see here for you, Scorpio. So, when we talk about, of course, January, the new calendar year, 2023, um, there is lots of, even more so. I mean, we always have, I'm trying to think of the right word. We always have potential, right, for the future and planting the seeds for the future. But in particular, a lot of people feel more inspired, let's say, in like maybe the first couple of months of a new year. So planting the seeds for the future, right? So metaphors, they can be financial seeds, right? Or money, wealth seeds for the future, but they can also be lots of different other things here, but something of value, right? So yeah, this is looking really nice. Okay. So let's keep going though and see what else we have here for you, Scorpio. So let's see. Now we are at your third week. I'm just moving some of the cards over. I'm not used to this big deck, but it's okay. It's beautiful. You can hopefully see the cards more clearly than before. But yes. So now we come to your third week, which we said could be from around January 15th through the 21st. And we have the Four of Sacred Circles or Four of Pentacles in the right side up position. So it's almost like there can be somebody around you, Scorpio, or you yourself, general environment situation, that's a little bit controlling in this third week. It can be, again, around finances or money, or it can just be about somebody's value or our value, etc. With this Four of Swords energy, normally, in this deck, when we see someone smoking the peace pipe, when we have, like, let's say, the Prince of Sacred Circles or the Prince of Pentacles, right? He, in this deck, would be smoking the peace pipe and he's offering it to someone. But here we see this person just smoking it by themselves, okay? So normally the peace pipe is about communication, about finding peace, breaking bread, right? It's just, communicating, straight up communicating in all the different ways that we communicate. But this person is by themselves and they're kind of blowing smoke. And so it can be because somebody is a little bit too controlling or operating from a place of fear or lack when it comes to money or values. And when they say blowing smoke, it's almost like somebody can be not necessarily lying, but I guess can have the, I'm trying to think of the way to say it, can have blowing smoke. It's like, well, someone could be blowing smoke up your ass, which is like they're kind of lying, but maybe not straight up lying, but they're tricking you in some way, or they're not being honest with themselves or others in some way. But I don't always say that with this card, but it just kind of felt like guided to say that, okay? But the main thing is just to focus on is that fearful energy or the controlling energy, which a lot of people control or want to control out of fear, right? So it makes sense. So it's going a little bit like your reading is, the Five of Swords energy to the Princess of Sacred Circles, and then the Four of Sacred Circles. So almost going backwards, two steps forwards, two steps back a little bit, okay? Because we would assume that the Princess of Sacred Circles is more advanced and comes at a different level, right, than the Four of Sacred Circles energy. So let's leak, let's look, let's leak and look what is underneath this card to get even more insight and find out why Spirit has it here. All right, so when we look underneath it, we're talking about what's on the top and the bottom of this deck to get even more insight. These are past energies that made it possible for this Four of Sacred Circles to show up. So what we have on the top of your deck is the Seven of Wands or Seven of Staves in the reverse position. And then we have the Two of Cups in the right side up position, which was on the bottom of your deck. All right, so it looks like here, Scorpio, in the past, that perhaps somebody or something was not ready to have a spiritual download, enlightenment, awakening, somebody or something or energy, was perhaps not open and ready to receive help in some way in the past. Okay, with that Seven of Wands in the reverse position. Now, when we're talking about wands, we're talking about our defenses, right? Just like the swords, it can be a tool or a weapon. So somebody's possibly defenses were really high in the past. Okay, so am I being a bully or am I being a victim, right? That kind of energy is here as well. But it could also be for some, when we talk about wands or staves, our physical body, our health. So perhaps somebody was not having the best health in the past in some way here. But when we pair it with the Two of Cups in the right side up position, it's like despite all that energy that was going on in the past, there was some type of relationship, or it can be multiple relationships, that was very complementary. Can be romantic, can be a work partnership, can be with friends or family, or even different parts of ourself. Self love, right, is still a relationship with self. So this energy in the past, both parties or both energies were bringing the same amount of effort and fulfillment and reciprocity, and so they're both giving each other the same cup that has the same amount of liquid in it, or whatever, right? The metaphor is here. So can be something was emotionally satisfying or fulfilling in the past, as far as a work partnership or a romantic relationship with friends or family, or with self. Okay, even though there was not so fun stuff going on in the past. Okay, so then when we pair these two with that Four of Sacred Circles or Four of Pentacles in the right side up position, it can be that perhaps someone is more fearful or operating from a place of lack or fear, because they are worried that possibly the money or the value maybe is going to affect one of these relationships, but it doesn't have to. Or they're just not perhaps, trying to think of the way to say it. Not perhaps like they're just not in the same place that they were in the past. Either you yourself, multiple people, general environment situation. They're just not in the same place. Okay. And that can be lots of different readings, but of course, it's lots of different readings, lots of different readings and reasons and readings. So I don't want to stay too much there because it keeps going forward, right, Scorpio? So if you look at, let's say, your first and your third week as an energetic blockage, gentle reminder, or challenge, then your second and your fourth week are really great, and for momentum and progress. Okay, so let's keep going. So we go from over here to now the Queen of Swords in the right side up position. And this is so great, right? Because we said you had 3 swords cards total in your reading. So we're talking about defenses, mental health, right? But this, we would assume, we don't actually see a sword. She kind of has one on the side hidden here, but she's doing some other stuff. So anyway, it's in the right side up position. So normally in other decks, when you would see this Queen of Swords, she would be holding her sword right side up. So when it's going up, all right, even if it's not physically in the image, the card is sitting up, it's not reversed, right? This can talk about mental clarity, a good place as far as our defenses as well. No one's being a bully or a victim at this point. When this card shows up, it's balanced, it's just right as far as the defenses go, and mental clarity, right? So also when this card shows up, because you had a princess back here, it could be that now here, Scorpio, towards the end of January, even beginning of February, perhaps, there is some type of elevation, right? We go from a princess to a queen, even though they're different minor arcanas, it doesn't matter. It's still a princess to a queen. So it can be for some that you're going to get a raise, or you go from entry level employee to now the manager, or you go from manager to now CEO, or if you're dating someone, you're exclusively dating them now, or if you were already exclusively dating them, now you go to the next step of how you define your relationships, and maybe you move in together, or maybe you go on a trip, or whatever it is, right? The whole point is it's going from a princess to a queen is leveling up in some area of your life, taking the next step up. Okay. And it can also be for some about, even if it's not directly about the job, okay, it can also be about our confidence, right? So stepping into our power, being a king or a queen here. Now, when we looked at, where was it? It was well, I was feeling it more in your first week when we talked about the Princess of Cups in reverse and the Four of Swords. I felt like there was some type of leveling up that didn't happen for a couple different reasons that we already went over. But now I feel like it's finally happening, divine timing, of course, in that fourth week of January, or towards the end of January, beginning of February. Okay. So that's really beautiful to see. Now, the Queen of Swords can be in the tarot known as the more clear cut, calculated one that doesn't always show her emotions. But here, in the way that this deck shows her, she's smiling and looking down at this little Japanese island. Okay, so we would assume that she's some kind of giant, right? She's the queen. Okay, so she's trying to add in a humility, a sense of softness to her ruling, to the way she runs her kingdom. So that can be a little bit of a message here too, like, yes, if you're leveling up in one area of your life, or multiple areas of life, or in your confidence, or in your power, you can do that and still have access to your emotions. You don't have to show your emotions to everyone, right? But you can still be a little softer about it. Okay. But yeah, let's keep going here. We still have another tarot card for you, and then your oracle card. All right, Scorpio. So now we're getting to your tarot confirmation card, which can be, I like to read it as a combination of past and future energy. And it's going to come in here and confirm all four cards, all 4 weeks that we just talked about. All right. So now we have the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. Okay. So this is, pretty interesting. I feel that, if this Seven of Swords was right side up, there would still be too many defenses. There would still be um, kind of this energy of being mentally confused, anxiety, worry, overthinking, of course, but also with the other cards in your reading, it's almost like there is an energy of letting go of all those things, which is great. But there's also like a double-edged sword. We're talking about swords. So there's also this other energy that it's kind of hard for me to like put into words. It's not to like scare you or anything, of course, but it's almost like if, because it is a combination of past and future energy, if somebody or something perhaps doesn't manifest the Queen of Swords energy in that fourth week in the right side up position, then there is going to be, of course, less mental clarity, less confidence, less air sign energy, less humility, less forward momentum and progress, of course. Um, but also, I think what I'm trying to find the words to say too is that when you see this Queen of Swords and her sword is right side up, even though on this deck it's on her side, right? In all swords energy, we're using that as a tool or a weapon. So if there was lots of, let's say, branches and not a clear path around her, she would be using the sword to cut her way, right? To clear her path. So I feel that, yeah, it's just basically saying if you want the path to be cleared, um, to make sure that there is this energy of letting go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking. Okay. Letting go of just being too much up in the head and balancing the air sign energy with earth signs, with fire signs. Okay. Um, Water, right? You have only a little bit of water way back here in the past. Okay. So yeah, I leave it at that because it's still hard for me to describe, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So let's go ahead now, Scorpio, into your oracle card for this time period and even beyond. Um, and this is a new oracle deck I got from my friend. It's called the Wild Unknown Alchemy Oracle deck. And the one that you got for this time period, it's really pretty colors in the card. It says against nature, contra naturam. I think that's how you say maybe the Latin, if it is Latin. I think some of the other ones are Latin. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and see what the little book says here. I won't read everything, but we'll just kind of try to summarize and get to the heart of it, the meat and juice, right? Okay. So it says when this card shows up, it talks about willfulness and a force or a control. Interesting. Wait, let's stop right there and go back to your third week. Force or control. Four of sacred circles, four of pentacles. If I had to put it together, I would say you can go, of course, for the whole reading, but definitely with that third week or third card. Okay. All right, let's see what else it says. All right. It says, on some level, we all know when we are going against nature. We recognize it in feelings of impatience and um, irritation that arises when trying to force certain outcomes. The Contra Naturam card arrives to remind the alchemists they cannot control the uncontrollable. Nature has its way enveloping us in a wild narrative that we can collaborate in but not dictate. No matter our efforts to manage every aspect of our lives, the mess ensues. Spring is soggy. The lotus requires mud. Sorry, let me turn that down. Okay. Go back two sentences. The spring is soggy from rain, right? The lotus requires mud. So the lotus flower talks about resiliency and strength and creating something out of nothing, right? So if you didn't have the rain and the mud, then it wouldn't be possible for the lotus flower to grow, of course. Okay. Let's see what else here. It says, that doesn't really apply because it's talking about if we had more than one oracle card and we only have one. Think of this card as trying to force a square peg into a round hole. There's likely a solution waiting for you to see it. Shake things up, dance, tell a joke, take a break. Okay. And it says also this deck or book either references a movie or some artwork or something artistic that you can find even more meaning similar to what this card is talking about. So it says to go deeper, watch the Talking Heads music video, Nothing But Flowers. Okay. I'm not familiar with that video, but kind of the music, so I get it. All right. And then it says to think or ponder, it says what we resist persists. the famous saying, what we resist persists. So, yes. So basically, it's saying when this card shows up to not fight the flow of Mother Nature or destiny, right? So that's what it's saying. You can't force nature. You don't want to go against nature. Okay, so that is your reading here, dear Scorpio. And hopefully you got something from it. Always feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Placing comments on the video is also another great free way to support the channel. Whether you have a good comment or not so good comment, it's still interaction. So I appreciate it. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and let the cards charge a little bit with the crystals and go ahead and switch over to Sagittarius and do some deep shuffling. What time are we at? We're at like 40 minutes and some change. So I'll make a mental note of that later for when we or when I do the timestamps. All right. So let's just bring everything down here. And we'll definitely do another sound bell too to kind of let go of the Scorpio and welcome in the Sagittarius, as I like to say. All right, so this is not shuffling yet. We're just kind of randomly placing the cards in there before we do the shuffling, because that would be terrible shuffling. I mean, you know, people shuffle differently, but I mean, it's just not enough mixing up of the cards is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Everybody just chill with the crystals for a minute. Okie dokie. Just turn the music up back a little bit. It's just kind of background noise to keep the dogs calm too. So give me 1 second. All right. So yeah, let's do the sound bell first. Let me not get ahead of myself here. Okay. Sometimes I do the sound bell before I shuffle the cards. Sometimes I do it after, but for now, we're going to do it now. All right. So this is for Sagittarius, and for people who are just tuning in, feel free to just relax and listen, or take a couple of deep breaths if you feel guided. But yeah, we're just going to ground ourselves and again tune into the Sagittarius energy and make sure that I'm a clear channel for spirit and can relay the messages as clearly as possible. Yes. All right. So for Sagittarius. All right. Sagittarius. Okay. That was not my best sound bell, I have to say, but that's okay. It felt like I was doing it with this side instead of the soft side. It just seemed a little more rough, but it's all right. It still did its thing and speaks to different parts of our bodies, different energies, different dimensions, all that good stuff. So, all right, let's do some shuffling here for Sagittarius. Just want to push that up a little bit. Okay. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius through Archer for January. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Sagittarius for January 2023. Sorry, that was kind of loud. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius for January 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Okay, spirits. Oh, I didn't even see that, but I'll push it down anyway. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius for January 2023. 4 cards only, please, spirits. Messages for Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Sagittarius for their highest vibration for January 2023. All right. So let's see how they want these, because they all came out reversed. They may want them that way, but let's find out. Okay. Just bear with me for a moment, a couple moments. All right, spirits. Love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Spirits, do you want the 6 of Swords in the reverse position to represent the first tarot card for this Sagittarius reading? Okay, so they want that one reversed. All right. And spirits, thank you for wisdom, guidance, advice given. Spirits, do you want the 7 of Swords in the reverse position to represent the second tarot card for this Sagittarius reading? Okay, I said no. Just to confirm, you want 7 of Swords right side up for the second card for the Sagittarius reading. Okay. And spirits and love and light, did you want the 9 of Staves in the reverse position to represent the third tarot card for the Sagittarius reading? Okay, so you want 9 of Staves reversed, correct? Spirits, you want, please give me a yes or no, clear, definitive yes or no answer. Spirits, do you want the 9 of Staves in the reverse position to represent the third tarot card for the Sagittarius reading? Okay, they said yes. All right, moving on. And spirits, thank you for listening. Of course, did you want the Fool in the reverse position to represent the 4th tarot card for this Sagittarius reading? Okay, they said yes, so we'll leave that there. But before we put this away, we also, remember, still have to do our top and the bottom. So top and bottom. We'll figure out later where they want those, but let's switch over to this other deck here. All right. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius the Archer for January 2023. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius the Archer for January. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Oh. All right, spirits, guide my hands. 1 card only, please, spirits. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius for January 2023. What do they need to see? All right. And then we'll do the same thing with this deck. We do the top and the bottom. All right. Put that over there. Let me confirm with them really quickly and see, make sure they want that card too. Spirits, did you want the 2 of Pentacles in the right side up position to represent the one and only tarot confirmation card for the Sagittarius reading? Okay. And now before we do the last oracle card, let's see where they want these guys. Let's do the orientation too. Spirits, did you want the 10 of Swords? Spirit, did you want the 10 of Sacred Circles in the reverse position to represent what's on top of this in astrology? That's not in the word. I'm doing it again. It's ancestry. Spirits, did you want me Spirits, do you want the 10 of sacred circles in the reverse position to represent what's on top of the ancestry tarot deck, whatever you know this tarot deck, or the Sagittarius reading? Okay. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Can't get it out today. All right. And then spirits and love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Spirits, did you want the King of Sacred Circles in the reverse position to represent what's on bottom of this Ancestry Path tarot deck for the Sagittarius reading? Okay. And spirits, did you want me to talk about those two cards, the 10 of Sacred Circles in reverse and the King of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, when I talk about the 7 of Swords in the right side up position? Okay. No? All right. And spirits, did you want me to talk about the 10 of Sacred Circles reversed and the King of Sacred Circles reversed when I talk about the 9 of Staves in the reverse position? Okay, so they want it there in the middle. So we'll make a note of that. And then these guys might be, well, they're either going to go in the second week or the 4th week. I feel like maybe the 4th, but I'm not sure. Let's double check. Okay. And spirits, did you want me to talk about the Empress in the right side up position and the 7 of Swords in the right side up position when I talk about the Fool in the reverse position? Yes. Okay. And spirits, you want, double check. Spirits, you want the Empress in the right side up position to represent what's on top of this Hermetic tarot deck for this Sagittarius reading, correct? Okay. And spirits, just to confirm, you want the 7 of Swords in the right side of position to represent what's on the bottom of this Hermetic tarot deck for this Sagittarius reading? Okay. All right. Almost there. Okay. Real quick, let's shuffle these oracle cards. Take our photo and then we'll get started. All right. These are really fun, but a little harder to shuffle. Okay. Messages for Sagittarius. Definitely going to do that again. Sagittarius. My dogs are passed out asleep over here, guys. I think I should start feeding them dinner like right before I do it because then they tend to be more chill. Okay. Messages for Sagittarius for January 2023. All right. Since we're only doing one card, let's just mix it up here. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius the Archer for January 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Additional messages for Sagittarius, one card only. All right. Well, let's see. So I'll just open the book to that page so we can have it ready for later. What do we have? Synchronicity. Okay. What are you? Synchronicity. Okay. Sorry. This font is so small for the index. Yeah, we'll do 215. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so we'll leave that there. And we'll take our quick picture and get started. Okay. Let's see if we can fit everything. I always try to make it fit, so let's see. These cards are just so big. I think I got it. All right. Good enough. There's just a guide, right? There's just a little guideline there. All right. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Sagittarius. Okay, we're at 54 minutes. Okay, and some little bit of change. All right. So for people just tuning in now or later, right, this is going to be general reading for Sagittarius. It can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., etc. And it is also a timeless reading. So for some, it could resonate before or after the original time frame of January 1st through the 29th. So it can go a couple months in the past or a couple months in the future, days, weeks, etc. Okay. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and see what we have here for Sagittarius. So we're going to start with the first four cards on the top, kind of talking about correlating to about a week's time frame or so with each four cards, each 4 weeks, all 4 weeks. I'm sorry. So I'll say the dates again a little bit later, but we said the first card can be from around January 1st through the 7th. Second card can be from around January 8th through the 14th. Third card can be from around January 15th through the 21st. And the fourth card can be from around January 22nd through the 28th. All right. So we do have the Six of Swords in the reverse position, the Seven of Swords in the right side up position, the Nine of Staves in the reverse position, and the Fool in the reverse position. And then we'll talk about what's in the other tarot deck here a little bit later when we're on each particular card where Spirit wants those cards to be discussed. All right, so let's see here, Sagittarius. As far as the major arcana, you have two, okay, so not necessarily good or bad, but you do have the Fool, right? So we could say Gemini, Sagittarius energy, and the Empress Libra energy. Okay. So that means for some people, you could be dealing with a Gemini, Sagittarius, or a Libra, or you have a lot of that, those placements heavily in your birth chart, or the other person does. Or it could even be referencing Gemini season, Sagittarius season, right, or Libra season. And then the last thing it can also be for some is it's referencing an area in your birth chart that has even more insight or clues or pointing you in a direction. Okay, so look up where you have Sagittarius, Gemini, or Libra in your chart to get even more insight. And then for some people, it may not resonate at all, but just want to mention it ahead of time before we get deep into all the other good stuff. So yeah, now let's see what your prevailing minor arcana is. So we've got three swords, so it might be swords, but let's double check. Two pentacles, one wand, and wait, no, it looks like a tie. I'm so sorry. We have another pentacles over here. So it's a tie between swords and pentacles. We got three and then three. So what does that mean, right? So the pentacles in tarot can talk about money and wealth and finances, but can also talk about our values, value systems. Am I being valued enough? Is the other person? Is the environment? Apply that sentence however it may apply, as long as we're talking about values. And then on the sword side, we're talking about our defenses and our mental health. So is my mental health in a good place, in a not so good place? Is it in a balanced place? Are my defenses too high? Are they too low? Am I being a bully? Am I being a victim? Or am I kind of just right in between where I should be? So those kind of some things to think about, right? It may apply, it may not, but we just want to talk about it real quickly. All right, so now going forward, if we had to pause the reading right here, Sagittarius, I would say that this is, definitely going to be a little bit difficult, okay? And I say that with love because I'm a sun sign Sagittarius too. Because it looks like the best week may be that first week of January. And what is the best week, right? I mean, it's just hard to say, like, just I've been saying that in all the other readings. But so if I had to say it, I would say the first week would be the best week, Sagittarius. Because it looks like the rest of the time here in January, there's some energetic blockages, gentle reminders, or challenges. But yeah, I would even say the first 2 weeks of January might be better than the last 2 weeks. But it is kind of general. So let's just break it down. Okay. So we start off here, Sagittarius, in your first card, first week, with a really beautiful reversal. So we said this could be from around January 1st through the 7th, but it's just a guideline. It's not exact. Okay. But here we see somebody is, or some energy is letting go of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the head. Because if he was right side up, he's still working on it, right? The swords are going down. He's meditating. He's aware that he's stressed out in some way or not thinking clearly. So he's working on it. When it's in the reverse position, it means that that person or energy um, has achieved the goal that they wanted to achieve, right? To be free of those things. So I feel like that one's pretty, self explanatory. It can also be because we are in the new year, 2023, in January, new calendar year, that it may be an easier time for some Sagittariuses or people, depending on where you have Sagittarius in your chart, to let go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the head in the first week, because perhaps we've had some type of, it could be a revelation or download, but that's not the words I wanted to use. What do we talk about in the new year, right? We talk about um, resolutions. My New Year resolution is this, right? So maybe perhaps for some, the New Year's resolution or just coinciding with that energy of the new year to be like less stressed out, less overthinking in the logical mind crown chakra. So that could be why that's there as well, but it doesn't have to be, right? So this reading for some people may resonate like this is my reading. For other people, it could be like this is about my person, or this is about multiple people, general environment situation. So always take it how it may resonate for you. But yeah, let's keep going forward because I feel like that first week is pretty self explanatory. So then when we get to your second week here, Sagittarius, we have a little bit of defensive energy now back, right? It's kind of weird because we start off with Six of Swords in reverse to then Seven of Swords right side up. If it was ideal or going in the flow or pattern of the first card first week, they would both be reversed. But one isn't, okay? And that's like everything does happen for a reason. And it's nothing to freak out about, right? But with the Seven of Swords energy, this guy has just won all these swords at the carnival, right? And so instead of maybe sharing some with friends or family or other people, just handing them out, he's gathering them all up for himself. Okay. So it's a little bit of um, greediness for some, maybe, but greediness is not the right word. Yeah, it's just being defensive. It's like, why, why can't he share some of these, right? Like, is he, um, if he won them, he won them, right? But it doesn't matter. It's just the matter of like, well, how many do you really need, right? How many um walls up, if we're talking about our defenses, do you really need, or does the other person need, the environment? Also, when the Seven of Swords shows up, it can be a little bit of gossiping energy, not necessarily you or the other person, general environment, but around you or around them, okay, with these people behind him. Almost being like he didn't deserve to win all those swords, even though he did. He won them like fair and square, right? But it's just the energy of like maybe not being grateful enough or not sharing enough, something kind of like that. Okay, it will be different for everybody, but yeah, it's just something to think about. All right, so let's keep going though, because again, I feel like the first and second week are pretty self-explanatory or easily explained, hopefully, on my part. But then the third and the fourth week definitely have more things to kind of talk about. So let's keep going that way. All right, so Sagittarius, when we get to the third week, it could be that when we have this Nine of Staves in the reverse position, also known as Nine of Wands in the reverse position, that for some, there's some health issues in the physical body that need to be looked at, not to scare anyone, but just something that, if you had that thought already or the other person mentioned it, encourage them to do it or encourage yourself to do it. That kind of thing. We're not trying to scare anybody. But it's almost like somebody, perhaps an energy or person, is not ready to level up. Okay. Because if this was right side up, 10 is the highest number in tarot. So they would be really close to having some type of ending, new beginning. Okay. But it's reversed. So it could be someone's self sabotaging themselves in some way. It could also be for some people that there's this energy, again, when we're talking about health, right, of not taking the rest that we need. Okay. So normally, if the Nine of Staves or Nine of Wands was right side up, it can be known as like the burnout card. So this African American man, or he could be both, right? He could be Native too, whatever. He is doing some type of rite of passage, okay? And so he's wanting to give up. He's really hungry. He's really tired. Maybe he's hunting and he's supposed to provide for the village to show that he's a man, right? So we see him crouched down here, and he's wanting to give up even though he's so close. When it's in the reverse position, perhaps somebody isn't taking that rest. Like, take the rest, like crouch down. Like, even though, let's say you're on this time frame where you got to get this animal or you have a deadline, etc., or whatever, it's like there's always some way to recharge or rest, even with a short amount of time, right? Like meditating, going for a walk, whatever it is to kind of rebalance, recalibrate, that kind of thing. Okay. But let's see what's underneath it to find out even more insight about maybe why this card showed up here. So now we're talking about past energy that made it possible for the Nine of Staves in the reverse position to show up here. Okay. So we've got the Ten of Sacred Circles in the reverse position and the King of Sacred Circles in the reverse position. That's a lot of Pentacles, Sacred Circles together, right? So it looks like here in the past, Sagittarius, for some, that there was not enough money or finances or wealth or abundance in that way in the past, or there wasn't enough values and community effort and community support, and there wasn't enough also confidence in oneself or in others as well, with that King of Pentacles in the reverse position here. So yeah, I mean, it's like if these two cards on the bottom are earth sign energy, right? So not the particular card. Excuse me, hold on. Not the particular card, but can be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, right? If there's not enough earth, enough wood, let's say if wood could be earth, to light a fire, fire would be the staves or the wands, then we can't light the fire. So in the past, there was not enough stability in some way, financially or with values or both, to make it possible for, in the current present energies, the Nine of Staves in the reverse position, to want to take the rest that they need, okay, or to elevate in some area of their life, right? To head towards that ending, new beginning. All right. So let's keep going, because these are all things that you could still possibly change, right? This is the energy we're picking up as of right now. Okay. But yeah, let's see what else we have here for you, Sagittarius. So now we get to your fourth card, your fourth week, which we said could be from around January 22nd through the 28th. And we have the Fool in that reverse position. So a little bit of Gemini, Sagittarius energy here, right? And it's like echoing in a lot of ways the Nine of Staves or Nine of Wands in the reverse position that was before it. It's almost like somebody doesn't want to take that leap of faith have some type of ending, new beginning. They're hesitant. The person or the energy is hesitant here. Okay. Um, Somebody perhaps doesn't want to level up in one area of their life or multiple areas of their life with the Fool in the reverse position. Somebody doesn't want to look foolish to themselves and or others. Somebody or something doesn't want to look at identity, ego, that kind of thing. Okay. But let's see what's underneath it. So this is energy from the past that made it possible for the Fool card to show up in the reverse position. So what we have is the Empress Libra energy in the top of your deck and that Seven of Swords in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck here. Okay. So yeah, Sagittarius looks like in the past there was the Empress energy, right? She's the businesswoman of the tarot, the CEO, right? She's boss bitch, okay? Um, and we all have masculine and feminine energy inside of us, but she would be highly divine feminine energy, right, in the right side up position, to so to say. So this energy was present in the past, and perhaps there was also more balance in the past when we're talking about air sign, Libra energy, beauty, love, etc., right? Ruled by Venus. But then on the other side, you have the Seven of Swords again, and I just realized that you have a repeating card here, Sagittarius. So let's hold the presses and stop everything. Okay, Seven of Swords in two different decks. Okay, and if you saw me shuffle, I didn't plan that, right? I didn't stage it. Okay, so it's a particular message from Spirit when you see two cards from two different decks in the same position, no less. Okay, they're both right side up. One is from the past, this is past, and one is from the future, current, present energies, possibilities, but they're both there. Okay, so it could be that whatever was going on, Sagittarius, in the second week with everything that we saw before about the Seven of Swords, it could be that in the fourth week, it's like re-triggered. It doesn't feel as present because it's in the past position, but it's still there. Um, it could be that somebody thinks that if you are an empress or behave like an empress, or you have confidence or highly divine feminine energy, that you are supposed to be more competitive with others, take all the prizes and not share, or they're doing that with themselves and or others, or you are, or there's just that energy of being too defensive, right? Am I a bully here or am I a victim? I don't know. He looks like more possibly like a bully, if we had to say, just from the way the card is depicted and the energy, right? So it's just like somebody's mental clarity is still being affected in the second and in the fourth week, right? Um, and it's affecting wanting to take that leap of faith, right? With the Fool in the reverse position. It's affecting somebody taking a chance or trusting or believing in something that they can't see, right? Or we don't know exactly how it's going to go, what the outcome is going to be, right? So that's kind of what I see here. But let's keep going and see what we have in your tarot confirmation card. Okay, so this is the last tarot card here, and it's going to come in here and confirm all four cards, all 4 weeks that we just talked about at the top here. And this is a combination of past and future energy. So here we have your last Pentacles card, Sagittarius, with the Two of Pentacles in the right side up position. Okay, so this is an energy of, it's a little topsy-turvy energy of trying to make more value, make more money, more abundance, right? Normally in other decks, you would see this guy with a foxtail on his butt, he's like a fake foxtail, but then he's juggling two pentacles and he's standing on a dock and there's a huge storm in the background. So the dock is already shaking. So it's like this topsy-turvy kind of energy, right? We see here in this deck, the Hermetic deck, there's a snake going around these two pentacles, right? And somebody in the background trying to grab the snake. Okay. So it's kind of coming in here, Sagittarius, saying you don't always want to be, of course, topsy-turvy. You don't always want to be um, around that trickster energy or tricking yourself if you are tricking yourself, right? So how do we get more grounded earth sign energy, but also all the other energies, right? How do we have more healthy air sign energy, crown chakra, the swords energy? How do we have fire sign energy, Sagittarius, the staves of the wands, right? To balance out, that earth sign energy over here as well. Okay. Um, I feel that it is, yeah, it's a warning, a nice gentle warning that it doesn't have to go that way. Okay. So um if you can work on getting really, really grounded, right? Because it's weird. If you think about, well, at least for me it is, if you think about the Two of Pentacles and other decks, he's standing on a dock. Okay, there's water all around him, but it's supposed to be earth sign energy. You would assume he would be standing on the earth. So it's just another metaphor of like, how do I get more grounded? How do I get more back into my body when everything else feels topsy turvy or feels like it's tricking me or there's trickster energy or it feels really hard, right? When you have the Two of Pentacles, it's really far from the Ten of Pentacles, right? So when we're talking about money or wealth or even values, it's like at the beginning stages, it's still really hard, at that point. So how do we, possibly make it a little easier um, to ground ourselves and to think about the other elements, to reach out to other friends or family, etc., whatever our support system is. But yeah, let's see what the oracle says here as well, Sagittarius. Hopefully, I explained that right as far as the tarot, but we're going to get even more insight. Oh my God, look at that. You have two snakes now. That's crazy. There's two snakes. Okay. So the oracle card for this time period, even beyond Sagittarius, is the synchronicity card, the undus mundus. I don't know how to say that. Undus mundus. Okay. We'll just say it's the synchronicity card, right, with the snakes. It looks like light and dark, right? But let's see what the little book has to say since this is a new deck for me. I don't have it memorized. But this is the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. All right. So this card talks about source, destiny, and the miraculous message. Okay. Let's see. Synchronicity is the way the world of mysteries claims our attention. Something is sure to stick out to you today. A word, an image, lyrics, a memory, take note. Okay, so it can be today, it can be the whole month of January, whatever it is for you. Okay, it just says today in the book. It says, when the undus mundus appears, something you cannot yet see is taking shape. It will soon emerge to support you. Trust, breathe, the miracle awaits. Okay, so I'll go back and read more from that. But if we want to know that something is taking shape and to trust in it, right? We want the Fool to be right side up. So it's like saying trust in the universe, trust in the synchronicities, trust that these things, are going on behind the scenes. You can't see the results yet, but it's coming. Okay. All right. Let's see what else it says here. It says the undus mundus, and hopefully I'm saying this right. Forgive me if I'm not. Is the presiding deity of alchemy. It arrives to remind us that we are not alone in our queries and our questions or our journey? What are we here to do? What pulls us forward? Unanswered and unanswerable questions are timeless fuel for the flames of transformation. Mystics before us have uttered the same questions while tinkering in their laboratory. Do not underestimate the brave act of intention to details of your daily life. Do the ecology to the ecology of the world. Wait, what? I'm gonna read that again. Do not underestimate the brave act of your intention to the details of your daily life, to the ecology of the world. Okay. What you notice matters, right? That's synchronicity signs. You matter. When this card arrives, sacred messages abound. Everything is a living symbol of synchronicity. Its guidance is sent directly from the alchemists who have come before you to encourage you along the way. See the deeper meaning of what is in front of you. In this very moment, the new eye opens. All right, that's beautiful and deep. Okay, and it says to go deeper, it's going to suggest some artwork or a movie or something here. So it says, listen to Destiny by Shaka Khan. Okay, and it says to think and ponder the miracle of your conception. All right. So yeah, that's beautiful, and hopefully that made more sense, or even more sense for you guys. But yeah, I would really put it with the Fool in reverse, and in between also the Two of Pentacles there. Okay. So don't give up, Sagittarius. Right? We gonna make it. Always feel free to let me know in the comments down below how things play out for you, how they're going now. But yeah, Sagittarius, that is your reading. Thank you so much, as always, for your likes, shares, and views, and your comments. They're all great free ways to support the channel here, since I'm doing these readings for free. And before you go, real quickly, also the photo that I took of all your cards, I will be posting it up in a few moments, in case you want to check that out. All you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there. And then also, real quickly, I am having a candle sale on my website for this month of January. So if you're interested, you can also click in the description box below and find my website. I'll put it in the comments too, but it's Malessea Magic Light, just the name of my YouTube, and it's .com. All right, so I have, I think 35 candles total. Some are for love, some are for money, success, creativity, justice, court cases, this and that, right? It goes beyond. But this candle that I'm holding here is Hestia, the Greek goddess of home and hearth, and also of money. So for this candle, I've placed certain herbs in here and oils. And so basically what I do on my website is a setting a light service. Okay, so what that means is I will pray or announce words over this candle to make a manifestation for somebody, and you can send your own picture, you can write something you want me to say, or I can just say the usual thing that I say. It's totally up to you. And then after the candle burns, it usually takes anywhere between 2 to 5, 7 to 10, or even after 10, but that's really rare, days to burn nonstop. Then there will be a message in the bottom with the herbs, a shape, a couple of different forms. So I do a reading of that. It's much like a candle reading or a tea reading. All right. So that is part of the Setting Light service. And so for this month, I'm doing a special for 25, but normally I charge 33. So it's just something I wanted to do for the new year and to kind of just share with you guys. So if you feel guided, you can check it out on my website and lots of other things. So anyway, I think that's it for now, but you guys take care and enjoy this time period, and I will see you guys later. All right, take care. Bye.